we bump that right into it. So it's really easy to do that. Of course, I go over it, but you won't make red worse with red, so let it be so. Actually, whole red good looks really good. So finally we have much more perfect border here than before. I don't know how good camera shows it, but I can see that with my eyes. As I said before, for usual person it could be not noticeable, but if you're artisan experienced man, you can understand where is bad or good moment. I know that it will be healed perfectly in the future with one condition I'll tell you later about. And this thing probably will be quite loose, will be inferior to this variant and will be kind of safe for this variant in a year. So the second variant with outlines, if you want to use it fully, so in the future you'll have to put another orange outline here. And now you can see that this joint is very sharp thing that is really quality, and they lean on each other and they won't be smoothed or anything because they usually float when you have empty skin. So it's really sharp thing that is really qualified. So it won't be smoothed, or these joints from lines, they are really strong and they bump into each other and nothing will be smoothed actually. So it won't be smooth or anything because they usually float when you have empty skin. You can go over red, but actually a little bit. So now we have this perfect joint here. Oh, by the way, if you've begun doing that, why don't you outline everything around? It won't be worse. You'll have perfect work with old outlines and it look great. So as I said before, you can go over old orange. It won't be worse, really. Now I'm going to pour some water on it to show you everything, how it looks. So just before, yeah, you can really go over it, but it won't actually make it worse, so nothing will happen. So here we are, and really quickly the work is almost done here, so this part is actually finished. So now I'm pouring some water to show you this quality. You can see that it's quite sharp actually. Of course, you can do the sharper if you don't use wide lines, if you use 7 and 5 liners and build borders with them. But I don't actually see a point in that because you won't stare at that with a microscope or camera like that we have here. But actually, at least I recommend you to do so as I did, going further. This variant, when we use Magnum and then liner, that is mixed variant 3. So, if you noticed, I colored that with dark red and outlined that and colored, and then orange, because dark colors soil brighter ones. So, before you paint it, you have to realize which one is darker. That is not difficult to get that, is dark red, and only that begin to outline with red. Then fill it, and only after that you have to outline the brighter one. So if you use Magnum first, you have to color that red, and only after that you have to prop up it bright line. When you prop it up just before and with the dark to bright, when you do that just near, it will be really soiled with the dark color. But the bright color will be light gray and it'll be under, not above skin. Okay, so now here on red Magnum, I prop up orange outline. So here we have quite the same thing. Maybe I put some color over red on millimeters, but when we put some color over red, we cannot see that, and it's much faster. Then probe up every joint with liner and then fill them. This is very long to probe up 2 lines every time here everywhere. To avoid every thread here, it takes a lot of time actually. So I do really prefer sometimes to color it with Magnum and then probe up with bright line. So that's will leave well, but again, if you have any responsible part, which is really important, very visible, like face or something like Hanya here, so yeah, do that like we did here with 2 outlines, dark and bright. We can use that for background and only. So few tricks here, we can avoid the darker outline when you use liner. Okay, also, I can show you these tricks here to avoid that border when you do that outline, the beginning of this queen. So for its outline and to be darker, when you do outline and you need to paint red here, make that shading here to paint it without any gaps on skin and color difference. And then you can easily color it with Magnum and you won't have this break gap in dark. You won't have any kind of gaps while you have all these colors connected with gradient. So, and one more thing is connecting these planes. Don't forget that you can use that outlines in different places, like with small details here, using these docking stripes or lines. For example, here I had this thin red stripe here, and I do that carefully. I highlighted it with orange from both sides, because that thing here creates maximally accurate coloring. Maximally docked, and all this space will be colored carefully without difficulties. So it's maximally good prop top, and everything is really bumped into each other. So now you gotta see that better through that lens. You can see all these orange outlines for that picture not to go down and to be extra super clear. Here it's not suitable to paint with Magnum, this big hole. So I can take that erase and just paint it with it, not only for outlines. You can just draw it over that outline. Over and over this outline, and it will be really looks great. So it's actually filled, you can see. So you don't need to color it. So I add some more to the center, and that is orange. Friends, we've got here that sooner I'll add gray and purple and show you the process. So you can find that on my Instagram page. So if something wasn't actually clear, you can ask me in comments. You're always welcome to ask smart and interesting, intelligent questions. And I'll actually going to answer on them, because I'm actually interested in interested questions and everything that is going around. So that is always put your royal like and leave comment and share it with your friends. You're always welcome on my channel, and bye bye and have the best time.